I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I would option the 2025 Subaru Outback Wilderness Edition. Not only are you getting increase in towing, putting weight on top of those raised roof rails and the Boxer turbocharged engine, but it's a standard symmetrical all-wheel drive, which no competition does this. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to touch some bases on pros and cons, compare this against the competition. Starting in the front, for 2026, we are going to have a refresh. It is something to just throw out there because for 25, we do have some updates when you go into the Onyx XT, which I will go through in the review. For the front, it's going to be more rounded, whereas for 26, it's going to be a more boxy, off-roadsy look. Going into the standard steering response LED headlights and daytime runnings, which no company does this on a base tier. This is obviously not the base. One reason why I would go to this though is you're increasing the clearance to 9.5 inches opposed to the 8.7 inches of clearance with standard 4-wheel independent suspension. The lower gets the octagonal LED fog lights. The front adds the yellow for the recovery hooks, and it just looks a little bit more athletic with the glare-proof hood decal, and underneath the hood is what is really special, because when you go into the Onyx XT, it unlocks the ability to get this 2.4 liter turbocharged Boxer 4-cylinder. That's producing 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque paired to a Lineartronic CVT transmission, which will mimic an 8-speed automatic transmission. You're getting 78 horsepower more than the base 2.5 Boxer 4 engine. 101 pound-feet of torque. That's the second reason why I would go this route. With the off-road tuned suspension, you could fit 800 pounds on top of these roof rails, and towing max is at 3,500 pounds opposed to 2,700 pounds. 17-inch wheels, matte black. This is because of the Wilderness trim. It's going to bulge out with the Outback badging, yellow, as well as the decal on the side and on top of those raised roof rails. You can get up to a 19-inch wheel. The matte black will also come on the side view mirror. When you're comparing this against competition, Audi, Mercedes, Volvo, all of them are going to be more expensive to get capabilities that this can do more off-roading. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that, because if I'm looking for an everyday wagon that'll tick the box for my daily runs, as well as going off-road, why wouldn't I go to Subaru? The Wilderness comes back with the yellow for the recovery hooks in the rear, and you'll have dual exhaust tips that's exposed with reverse sensors and a reverse camera. Now, you have to go up the tier in order to get a 360-degree reverse camera, but on this trim, you're really stressing to do some off-road capabilities and a daily commute combined. And going back to the 26 variant, it's going to have more of that box profile similar to the Forester. I like how it's going to look more grown up, but then it's going to kind of take away from that wagon look. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments on that. Power liftgate, which starts as an option on the Premium and the Onyx Edition, is standard, going into 32.6 cubic feet of storage, 12-volt charger, a little storage nook, bag holders on both sides. Underneath the floor receives a spare tire and a split fold the rear bench. You pull the levers, and it'll split at a 40-60 split, maxing cargo to 75.6 cubic feet. The key fob for the Outback Wilderness. 10-way power seat adjustments start on the Premium. 8-way power seat adjustments start on the Limited trim. StarTech water repellent seating. Wilderness gets the badging in the headrest. Heated front seats. Ventilated is only on the Touring and the Touring XT, as well as memory for the driver. The dashboard and door panel configure in together. Auto dimming rear view mirror starts on the Onyx, and you'll get the compass on the Limited. LED interior lights with a moonroof. Let's fire it up. Now, only the base trim will have a dual 7-inch touchscreen layout. All the other trims will have this 11.6-inch Starlink infotainment screen. We have navigation. It is powered through TomTom, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse, and we get a reverse camera. The trajectory will expand. 360-degree reverse camera is on the Touring and the Touring XT. Dual climate control settings start on the Premium trim. There is a little bit of a glitch and lag, as you're noticing, with me playing with the infotainment screen, but we still have physical buttons and knobs, so it does make it a little bit easier for the day in and day out use. 4 speakers is standard, 6 speakers start on the premium, Harman Kardon start on the limited trim. We get a storage pocket right here for the passenger. Wireless charging pad starts as an option on the premium. You get the gloss black leather around the shifter, and you have the two-tone, which is also unique to the Wilderness leather wrap heated steering wheel. It's multi-function with the paddle shifts. Gauge cluster has a 4.2 LCD screen that can go through an array of different content for the driver. And it's going to be soft. It's pushed back a little bit. It opens up as a 2-tier, so you got some storage here, and you got a deep storage pocket here with a 12 volt. As for leg space, you're not going to have an issue. There isn't any pass-through headroom. They do a good job carving it out. Door panel, you're going to have that carbon fiber look. You'll have the Subaru Wilderness badging. It's soft to touch where it needs to be. Contrast stitch. One touch up and down for all the windows with a long storage pocket. For the back seat, this is the opening that you have to fit 2 more occupants with cup holders and an armrest. The door is going to have the same segment that's found in the front. One touch up and down for the windows, soft to touch. Even here, they keep the same material with a smaller storage pocket. Heated rear seats start on the touring trim. If you want these 2 USB ports as well as the ones in the front, you have to go into the premium trim. The base will only give you 1, and you won't receive any in the back. Air vents, 3 tiers of storage. The one here, and a smaller one for a cell phone. And check out the leg space as well as the headroom. We're going to fold this up, slide into the center. Seat space will be shared. The rails are pushed up enough, but leg and shoulder space is not that bad. It is a wide vehicle for the most part. And check out the headroom. I can fit at 6'3". 260 horsepower and 277 pound-feet of torque. Paired to the Lineartronic CVT transmission, that's 78 horsepower more than the base 2.4. You're talking 101 pound-feet of torque more. That is quite a bit of motivation when you're considering what you're getting as an overall package. 9.5 inches of clearance, raised suspension that's also off-road capable, as well as 4-wheel independent suspension. Let's give her a go. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you go into the turbo, you're gonna feel a humongous difference opposed to the non-turbo variant. Going this route with the clearance, you're also going to feel a difference because you do sit up higher. It helps with the clearance and it helps with the visibility. The windows are large all around you. Should you wait and get the 26? That's also a question that we're gonna entertain throughout the drive. We're gonna start off with the pros and cons, which the pros, you heard a ton of them. Ultimately, when you're getting to this trim, it pretty much gives you everything that you need for off-road as well as a daily driven vehicle. It's still practical. I mean, you're getting 21 mpgs over 27 mpgs. That's not bad for a turbocharged engine that weighs over 3,400 pound curb weight. It's also a longer vehicle and it's a wagon. So you got to put all these things in content. You have 3,500 pounds of towing. You can fit 800 pounds on these roof rails. The Wilderness is the trim to go. I know I sound excited, but it's just a lot of value going this route. Now on the cons, you don't get ventilated seats, you don't receive a 360-degree reverse camera or a trail camera, which would be something that I would like on this because I would take this off-roading with that clearance. You have a skid plate in the front, so you are taken care of if you're trying to do some maneuverabilities. And because we have 17-inch wheels, for a daily, it actually soaks up most of the imperfections. But going back to some cons, you have to go up to at least the premium trim to get a wireless charging pad, to get the USB-C port up front, as well as USB ports in the back. In order to get most of the features, you have to go up into at least the Onyx XT, which is kind of the sweet spot, which ultimately pushes you into a 40 grand pricing, and it can escalate to a $50,000 price relatively quick once you start tacking on features. But on the Pro, you can still option features going into the Outback, because if you go into Honda and Toyota, that's not going to be the case. But then on the Pro, you have more off-road capabilities than pretty much everybody in its class. Maneuverability, not going to be an issue. Feels a little bit long, but I mean, realistically, with this turbocharge and this much power underneath it, it can get up and go. The seat comfort is good. My knees are in the air. There isn't any cushion extension, so for tall people, it does kind of it's not going to be that comfortable for a long journey. You will be putting your legs on the door panel or in the center console to relax, but it does have adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, steering assist, blind spot monitoring, frontal collision, and because we have the option for the moonroof, we have the reverse automatic braking, which is a package combined. It's under $2,000. I would tick the box for it. And some other cons, the StarTech informational display still has a lot of glitch and lag, and you have to pretty much do all your commands through it. Yes, it has buttons on the side, but for the most part, you're going to be using the touch screen. Turn radius is about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Kind of bites you at times. Road noise is going to filter in. I mean, it's a box on wheels. And for the turbo to be spooled up, it's around 2.5 to realistically right at 3 RPMs, and then it just kind of takes off. Competition, hands down, this is the best way to go unless you're wanting more luxury because of the seat comfort and the ride to it. But for the most part, the ride is still comfy. Should you option this or wait for a 26? I mean, think of the Forester. It's going to have a lot of the similarities and components like the Forester. So for me, I would go this route unless I'm looking for a hybrid, which we're hoping to receive that next year, and hopefully they'll keep the Wilderness edition, because with the Forester, we got to wait for a 26 to get the Wilderness. And if that's the case for this, then I would say option the 25. Taking me to the last reason why I would buy this is you're not only receiving the off-road capabilities, the everyday use, water repellent interior. So this is literally a family vehicle, off-road vehicle, and a practical vehicle, turbocharged, so it has more power than the base engine with more amenities. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like to thank Subaru Lakeland.